exclusive story. We are hearing from family and friends of Connor Russell, the 16-year-old boy who was killed in a DUI crash in Tooele. Thanks so much for joining us on ARC Salt Lake. I'm Jamie McGriff. Officials say in the early hours of Sunday morning, Jackson Woodwas crashed his truck, killing his 16-year-old passenger, Connor Russell. According to Connor's family, the two friends were returning from a bonfire. Police and medics say both were ejected from the vehicle in the crash, and they found Connor unconscious on the ground, passing away minutes later, still at the scene. Our Leslie Duarte spoke to the family in an interview you'll only see here on 2 News.
He loved to dance, loved to make TikTok videos. He loved to go to Cafe Rio every day of his life. Cafe Rio or Chick-fil-A.
Quesadilla.
He mostly loved school for the social aspect of it. Music, loved music. He had a really entertaining sense of fashion design. That was very innovative.
He loved fashion.
Yeah, he did. He was just a character. He was a character when he wasn't even trying to be a character. He was just funny and sweet. And I mean, most 16-year-olds, I don't know if most 16-year-olds call their mom their best friend, but he had no problem ever letting people know that I was his best friend. And, you know, it's just, what happened is extremely unfortunate, and my heart is reeling for this other boy. Because he's a kid too. And they were out having fun, and they were doing what kids should be doing. They were at a bonfire, spring break. They weren't doing anything out of the norm that many, many people have done growing up. And unfortunately, it had to go wrong. And I know that Connor's big heart, he would have never let his friend go by himself. And I truly believe that was the choice that made him get in the car, because he didn't want to leave his friend. And it's sickening and heartbreaking all the way around. I mean, no one's winning in this situation, and no one's coming out of this unscathed or unheartbroken. I can only imagine what the other boy's family's feeling, because I would just be sick and just beyond heartbroken. The situations could have very easily been reversed. And I haven't done a lot of social media scrolling on comments. I've seen a few, and I just, you know, people just need to be kind and not judgy. And, you know, I've seen a few where people say, you know, talk to your children about the dangers of drinking and driving, or talk to your children about curfews or seatbelts. And I have talked to my kids until I am blue in the face. I mean, we have endless conversations about curfew and being safe in cars, and we have Life 360 where I can track him. And so it wasn't without caring, or it wasn't without doing what I thought were my options as a parent.
Probably just like feeling protected, you know? Just like his, like, just knowing that he's like the next door down. That's just like, I don't know. Just that feeling, knowing that he's there. That's what I'll miss.
And I want to come back to the message, because this story, as unfortunate as it is, could be a lesson for other parents to come on. What do you want to share with people?
I just, you know, you can talk to your babies about the dangers of being out past curfew and nothing good happens after 12:30, and wear your seatbelt and don't drink and drive and make good choices. And as much as I tried and had outside help helping with that to try and, you know, get him to understand that, you know, you just don't need to be out late. You don't need to be out with friends all the time. I mean, just talk to him. Just talk to your kids. They may listen. They may not. It may go in one ear and out the other. But you will regret it if you don't have those open conversations. And just tell your babies that you love them and hug them. And as wild and crazy as teenagers are, and just a lot, just soak it in and enjoy every moment, because I would give anything to have those moments back.
And I would say to the young people too, like, hold each other accountable. You know, make sure that, I mean, your parents can only say so much to you, but you listen to your peers, so hold your friends accountable. And there's no parent in this world, I don't think, that wouldn't come pick you up if you needed it, you know. And even if it's a week's worth of chores or something, it's better than what we're going through right now.
If Connor were here right now, what would you tell him?
That I'm not mad and that I love him, and I would just hug him. I would give anything to have him back. Anything.
I would just tell him that we love him, and, you know, in fact, that was the last thing I'd said to him, was that we loved him, and, you know, just tell him that, his heart, we always knew his heart was in the right place, and that, you know, just that we love him. That's pretty much it.
Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Just hug on your babies and love on your babies, and, you know, even when they're 16 and they think it's weird that their moms want to hug and kiss them and love on them, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway.
A life taken too soon and a pain no parent should have to feel. The GoFundMe to support Connor's mother during this time is closer to the goal each time we check. And if you would like to support Brooke and her family, the link can be found on our website, KUTV.com. Life has all kinds of challenges, stressors, and pain that can push your mental health. Let's go ahead and take a moment with Mary Nichols to remember the importance of good mental health and where Utahns can get help.
We need more than just a moment to talk about mental health in Utah. A nationwide study of our search habits showed Utahns looked for mental health help more than any other state. Nearly 22% reported having symptoms of anxiety or depression, which exceeds the national average of 17%. State behavioral health professionals know almost half of those who feel depressed don't get help. Well, the Huntsman Mental Health Institute just opened a comprehensive crisis care center in South Salt Lake this week. It's a huge, free, walk-in resource open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have specialists in teenage mental health, addiction services, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, crisis care, and services to help the families of those involved in each unique case. Well, they're making it easy to get help. There is a hotline number, 988, just like 911. That number will connect you to the resource you need. In a critical moment, call 988 for how to help friends or family in crisis, or if you just need someone to talk to.
Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, the efforts of the nation's oldest civil rights organization continues the NAACP's ongoing work to fight against housing discrimination and wealth disparities against African Americans. In today's Belonging in Utah, we're wrapping up our look into the history of the NAACP, the nation's oldest civil rights organization, and we're seeing how the organization's work continues even today. In our last couple of stories, we sat down with both presidents of the local branches of the NAACP, representing Salt Lake City and Ogden, and learned about their histories.
There were a few other things that the association got involved in around housing discrimination and redlining.
Today we're picking up from this thought with Betty Sawyer. Wall Avenue, why that dividing line?
Because it was east and west. It's traditional in most communities, east side, west side.
Over the years, the NAACP fought against housing discrimination and wealth disparities impacting African Americans. This is an interactive map from the University of Richmond's Mapping Inequality Project, showing historically redlined areas in cities across the U.S., including Ogden and Salt Lake City. Redlining was a racially motivated discriminatory practice used by institutions such as banks to deny people of color from redlined neighborhoods mortgages to buy homes in more affluent neighborhoods occupied by whites.
Not just in Salt Lake City, but across the country, where, if you were African American, you couldn't rent, you sure couldn't buy homes.
But the NAACP in both Salt Lake and Ogden fought back.
And so this brought community together again and says, hey, we should be able to live wherever we like.
Nationally, redlining was outlawed in the 1968 Fair Housing Act. Over the years, the NAACP faced numerous battles. Has it been primarily legal aspects of injustices? Has that been the focus?
It's been legal and non. Say, for instance, in the school system, there's been times when kids are being bullied, and so that was a big issue.
And most importantly, for the last 3 years, almost 4 years, we've been in the room with the Davis School District addressing the Justice Department, their discrimination suit, and those findings with them, like the African proverb in Butu, I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am. What affects me will eventually affect you if it's not already. You may not realize it, but we are in this together.
Developing tonight, a warning from the Utah State Tax Commission to taxpayers. Be aware that fake letters are circulating claiming that you owe unpaid state taxes. The commission says the letter appears to be official and threatens legal action, liens, or asset seizures if it's not paid. So this is how you can protect yourself. The commission says that before you pay, verify that the letter is real by calling 801-297-2200. Do not respond to the letter or a call from any numbers or go to any websites on it. If it turns out to be a fake, report it to the Utah State Tax Commission. Well, the U.S. was close to reaching a deal on TikTok, but China backed out after President Trump's recently announced tariffs. And that's according to a report from the Associated Press, which cited people familiar with the negotiations. The report says ByteDance told the White House yesterday China would no longer approve a deal, that instead China will hold out until there are negotiations on trade and tariffs. President Trump has indicated TikTok, the deal, could lead to reduced tariffs. China announced today that it would impose a 34% tariff on U.S. matching the U.S. tariff imposed on Wednesday. Weather is showing improvement every day. Let's go ahead and take a beautiful look at the Bonneville Flats. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this was sent to us by Chris Williams. So let's see who else is getting blue skies by checking in with our meteorologist Chase Thomason with that first alert forecast.
We've had more mountain snow showers across the state of Utah, and our snowpack number has actually increased. We're up to 96% of median. And with the warmer and drier weather that I'm forecast, it looks like we'll probably peak just below normal across the state of Utah. Of course, those numbers are a bit higher in northern Utah and lower down south. You can see in Arizona, New Mexico, right around 50 to 60% of median, with higher numbers just to our west. So overall, not a bad winter across the state. Wish we had a little bit more snow down in southern Utah, but as a whole for the state, just below average. Scattered showers continue throughout the evening, but by about 8 or 9 o'clock, most of these scattered showers that are kind of bubbling up over the mountains and drifting to the valleys will be falling apart. As that sun goes down, drier air is moving in, and we'll have clear skies as we head into your weekend. Winds are still out of the north, though, so it'll be kind of a cool day, but at least it will be sunny unless you're over the Four Corners. We'll have partly cloudy skies and more of those isolated showers bubbling up over the mountains. Temperatures tonight, if you have any plans, bundle up. It's going to be a cold night for April. We're talking lows in the 20s and 30s, maybe even close to the teens across the Park City area and the Wasatch back. It's chilly for April. 40 in St. George tonight, but you get close to 70 tomorrow. Might be a little breezy down in southern Utah near those canyons, but not a bad day. We'll be in the mid-50s along the Wasatch Front, and that's about 5 degrees below normal. 40s in southwestern Wyoming, but a sunny Saturday, which is what we like to see. But by Sunday, it's going to be even nicer. How about 62 degrees? By Monday, we'll be close to 70, so spring weather is right around the corner. We have this big ridge of high pressure that is coming our way, and that's part of the reason for the warm-up. Those wind speeds will be changing direction out of the south, bringing in that warmer air mass. Now, there is a little weak storm that's going to zip on by early Tuesday, so there is a slight chance for a shower. Wouldn't change any plans, though. We're not going to see a whole lot from it. That high pressure moves back in, though, by the end of the week, and those temperatures will soar by Thursday and Friday, and it could be the warmest weather we've had so far this year. St. George, 68 jumps to 74 on Sunday. Those overnight lows still cool, right around 40 degrees. But if you're at those national parks, it's going to be beautiful if you're hiking in the afternoon. Enjoy it. A few more clouds Monday, Tuesday, but warmer in the low 80s. We're in the upper 80s by Wednesday. Then it gets hot down in St. George. Thursday and Friday in the low 90s. But by next weekend, there will be a slight cool down back into the 80s. Salt Lake, we're in the overnight lows seeing 30s, and then temperatures continue to climb as we head into the week. Again, a slight chance for a shower on Tuesday. We dropped 2 degrees. It's still above normal in the upper 60s, with those overnight lows climbing well into the 40s. But by the end of the week, take a look. Perfect on Wednesday, 72, 77 on Thursday. Gets a little breezy, though, on Friday at 80 degrees. It's ahead of a storm system that right now doesn't look very impressive, but it will be dropping our temperatures next weekend. 71 on Saturday with a chance for a few evening showers. And by next Sunday, it's still a ways out. Those temperatures could be cooling back off into the 60s, but that's closer to average for this time of year.
Coming up on Ark Salt Lake, looking for a winter getaway, why Delta Airlines says that it has the straightway solution to Utah's wintry weather. All right, get this. Landscaping students in Utah County just brought home a national championship. It's not what you think. It's actually a program, BYU's landscaping program. It won its 10th national championship for the National Collegiate Landscape Competition hosted by the National Association of Landscape Professionals. This has got to be the nerdiest of nerdiest outdoors things that you could think of. I never thought something like this could exist. Well, you know what? Their skills were showcased in events like interior plant identification, landscape maintenance operations, and robotics and technology in the landscape and design and maintenance industry. Congratulations to them. Wow, I've learned something new today. All right, new developments for air travelers. If you're looking to head to Florida for a winter getaway, Delta Airlines says, hey, look, we got you covered. Delta is adding a new seasonal nonstop service flight to Fort Myers. Let me tell you, nonstop flights are the way to go. So the flight out of Salt Lake City International Airport, it's going to start later this year, December 20th, so right around the Christmas holiday season. Delta leaders say it's a flight that will give you direct access to Florida's Gulf Coast and sunshine, and the flight will be aboard one of Delta's Airbus planes. Sounds good to me. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.